Southern life is a life for me. It's the way I'll always be. Southern life is a life for me. It's the way I'll always be.
Welcome back to another episode on the Southern Life Podcast. Episode 4?
I think so.
We did episode 1 on the couch. Episode 2, Paul made an appearance. Episode 3, Paul come back again, but was sicker than a dog and throwed up after it was over.
Poor feller.
So, episode 4.
No, Dustin and Donna was one.
Oh, yeah? That was between... No, yeah, that was after Paul got sick.
Yeah.
So, episode 5. Episode 5 on the Southern Life Podcast. And making a grand appearance, Billy Cravens. Let's give a like. Go slap the like button for our Billy Cravens appearance. We finally got him on here. It's been a long time coming.
We need some ratings, so.
Yeah, we was needing some clout, as they say. We needed somebody with some prestige to get on here. So we've got Billy on here now, and we was talking today. It might become a regular thing. So maybe we can get that dialed in and share some stories and just get some commentary on some subjects we talk about on here.
We got a few to tell, don't we?
We've got more than a few. We could probably sit here the rest of the night and tell them, but we won't do that though. We'll save them. We won't give them all to eat one time because, just to be honest, you couldn't handle it. So we might space them out a little bit. So before we hop into this, guys, if you're not subscribed yet, I don't know what they're waiting on. I mean, if you're waiting for a sign, this is it. I'm the messenger. Need to subscribe, guys. That way, whenever we post a video, whether it be a podcast or a regular video or whatever it is, you'll get an instant notification if you go hit that little bell down there and turn on the notifications. And while you're down there, you might as well slap that like button. Go ahead and give it a good slap. Make sure it lights up blue. And go comment anything. Just say, hey, hope you have a good day or something like that. And all helps the channel, helps it grow, helps it get pushed to more people just like yourself. So now that all that's out of the way, we can hop into this week's podcast. So how we doing? How we doing, boys? Everything going good?
I've been doing pretty good. So you about every day at work?
Yeah.
Seem like we work all the time.
So something you guys might not know is me and Billy, we see each other every day at work. Actually, the majority of our times at work seem like here lately.
Yeah.
Well, let's just talk about that for a minute.
Won't be just a few hours. Won't be back at work.
That's a depressing thought, ain't it?
It is.
There's not much more of a worse thought than Sunday evening rolls around. As the darkness approaches on Sunday evening, it gets dark, and you're like, boy, it's just a matter of time now. We're going right back to Monday morning, and then
Most of the time you're getting up before daylight.
yeah, before daylight. That's what whenever we usually leave work, as we're leaving, we'll say, "See, dark and early." It ain't even. You can't even say bright and early.
Yeah, it ain't even bright and early.
You don't get to watch the sun come up as you drive in. It's just pitch black.
It's still dark. You get there. Right?
And main thing about it is usually it's 10-hour days, and pretty much I feel like I've got so much time committed to that place. I feel like I just belong there. You know what I mean?
After I feel like I'm there more than I am at the house. After you get done working there, you got so much other stuff to do. It'll wear you out.
You turn around twice and you're right back again.
Yeah.
What about what happened logging today? Did you just have you logging?
Rain.
I know it rained some there, but where is that? That affect you any?
Oh, yeah, we lost half a day. We come out because it was trying to rain. We got a load on for in the morning, though, so that's better than nothing, ain't
Do some hauling tomorrow?
it? We thought about hauling them today, but we didn't do it. We went and bush hogged and fixed fence and just everyday life.
Well, speaking of
Don't
work,
just miss the good old days. Billy will fix some fence and you're getting out logs and then out there
hey, I tell you what.
going in before daylight and ain't got no time, boy, and say, hey, dude.
Oh, I know. I ain't gonna lie. There's sometimes I miss being outside.
There's been a few days I missed it.
Taking it all in.
It gets off in inside
I
sometimes.
didn't even think about the good fellas you work for.
Yeah. We won't go there, will we?
But it's life, ain't it?
That's what people say.
I tell you the
9
best thing,
April,
though.
shot down in May.
And you're talking about the worst thing, whenever it's getting dark and even on Sunday. the best feeling in the world is knowing if you've got a Monday off, then you're off that next day and you can do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That don't happen much, though.
Makes you appreciate vacation, though, don't it?
Vacation time is it's a valuable thing. It's precious.
Golden.
As the fella on Lord of the Rings says, it's precious.
Yeah.
Them days you accumulate, they're worth something, ain't they?
Yeah.
They're valuable.
Yeah.
And
Spend them wisely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you what else is depressing is knowing you're going in on Monday and knowing you've already been scheduled on Saturday.
Yeah.
And knowing you're guaranteed a 6-day special. That's rough.
Yeah. Got you the 5-day 10s, and then you got you add on that Saturday special on there. Yeah.
But what's bad is Friday, when it gets there, it ain't even Friday, it's really Thursday. It's a fake Friday.
Knowing it all week, just like this week right here,
we got it bad, ain't we? We've complained the whole first 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's pretty bad, ain't we?
Well, now that we got our complaining out of the way, let's talk about
Is
some
anybody
good stuff.
out there sobbing yet?
Yeah.
We need to be thankful we got a job, I guess.
We've got 5 million viewers out there playing the world's smallest violin.
I pulled up to the gas pump the other day, and the fella was pumping gas across there on the next pump, and I started complaining about the price of gas, and he said, well, I guess we ought to be thankful we got gas. So I got thinking, well, I guess that's I guess you got to look at the good side of things too, ain't you?
Well, speaking of looking at the good side, we've not got a whole lot longer of work days, and we'll be in a tropical destination.
Paradise.
Let's talk about that a little bit. We've been going to the beach together now for
2015.
2015. So, good Lord, this will be 6 years in a row.
What about that now?
Six years in a row.
It'd have to be.
Because I remember the first year you ever went down with us, you didn't ride down.
I went with Forrest.
You went with Forrest down there.
And
they just stayed he just stayed 2 nights or 1 night, or how was that?
I remember.
He
He was
was
the same when we went down.
He took a
about
nap
the
and
middle of
blowed his
the
nose. He went back home, didn't he?
week. And he didn't. He couldn't take off, or he thought he couldn't. Poor
Yeah.
fella. He's committed to work, so we left out about the middle of the day at dinner time on Friday, and he had to come back home on Sunday. And we was staying at Seagrove, and Young's in Panama. And I remember Young's come got me, and I just I come back to Young's.
I can't remember if man you went and picked him up.
Mm-hmm.
Just man Pops did.
Come just the 2 of us. I remember him picking me up. I remember
That's in Panama, ain't it?
Young picked me up in that black van.
Old black Nissan.
I remember it.
Yeah.
Old black Nissan made a few trips down there, didn't it?
Yeah.
It probably made 3 or 4 trips down
Yeah,
there.
it did.
Yeah.
And,
That was good.
and then we rode with them. Now, did I drive the 6.0 and 16?
I think 16 was the first time I think we
Rode. Did we drive?
That's old
Yeah.
Gray, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was 16 or 17 I drove it? 16 wasn't
It
it?
had
Yeah,
been 16 because 17 we took my Camaro.
yeah, 17 is the first year you had the Camaro, yeah.
I remember we was 21 then. 16, yeah. I remember we like to died because you got that flat.
Oh,
I won't
man.
even get into that.
All right, so what we had there was I was going hot and heavy on college at the time, and I thought I had a final. I think I had a comp
You had an
2
exam or
final
something.
exam. It was. If it had been summertime, it'd been a final. No, it's fall break. We went
It's
that
fall
year.
break, yeah.
Yeah,
You
so,
saw
break.
fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it would have been a comp 2 midterm if it was fall break. So anyway, I had a fall break, and I told my teacher, I'm like, I'm going on vacation. She's like, I can't help it. I'm like, well, I've never had to come back like in the middle of the week. I just want to come back on a Wednesday, take my exam on a Thursday, and we got there on Sunday. So,
We didn't know what to do.
So we ended up getting a flat tire on Wednesday evening.
Wednesday evening, I remember we walked up to it and I said, "You are going to die when you see
no
this."
spare, right? No spare.
No, he brung a spare, but I remember
It's
it didn't
different,
fit.
yeah,
It just like
different
about
load
that
pattern, right?
much fitting. I tell you
Yeah,
what,
I
we
forgot
fit
about
to be
that.
tied.
Yeah.
Especially when we got over there to get that tire fixed.
So Dad had just, I don't think we even knew you had brought it. You just had thought of it and say, hey, somebody might need this spare.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you throw it in the back of the van or the expedition or whatever it was. And so we ended up having a flat tire. Boy, this gets deep quick. Anyway, we'll talk about the Walmart here in a minute. But checking the bugs and the hat. But so we have a flat tire, and I'm like, I've got to examine tomorrow. So I called my teacher, and I'm like, hey, I've got a flat tire down here. And I think that was that night I was calling. I was like, they broke a piece of my shield off or whatever.
It was your dust shield that fell in between the rotor and the brake shoe.
And that'll be important here in a minute.
Sure.
But I was a little bit fired up that day, wasn't I? Because I had so much stress of trying to go home that next day. Plus, I thought they had tore my truck up. And plus, the customer service in that Walmart, if you could give a negative star, they deserved it.
We spent that whole day. I remember we left out about, I want to say about 8 something that morning, and we spent
all
that
day.
whole day. I remember the sun was going down, and Yuns hadn't even took your family pictures yet, and we had to get back and take them.
And we thought that was our last day there.
Yeah, we thought it was.
So we get up on Wednesday morning, the tar's flat, and we're like, this is our last day here. This is Wednesday. Had to be back on Thursday. And we're like, man, our tar's flat. Might as well go get it fixed. So head out and drive, 5-10 miles to the nearest Walmart.
It took us 30
in
minutes
Callahan,
to get
Florida.
there.
I'm going to call you out. No free shout-outs, but I'm going to call Callahan
I
Walmart
wonder
out
if
right
you're
here.
going to, yeah.
And we go there, and we get there probably 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Callaway or something like that.
Callaway, yeah. I remember you even left a review on there, didn't you?
I aimed to leave a review. By George, I put one on Facebook anyway.
Billy was making it right. He's making his voice be heard. So we get there at 9 o'clock. We go in there, and all we want to set a tar spit on. They had a set, whatever. I remember that they pulled it up there. They was pulling it in the garage, and they had a McDonald's inside Walmart. So like, we'll go get us a bite to eat.
That whole place is the biggest hindrance I've ever seen.
Well, we go to McDonald's while we were going to wait for them to put tires on. We get over there, they don't have no chicken, didn't they?
They changed their oil in their machine, and I've never seen a person do that. I remember ordering chicken nuggets, and they said it'd be about 20 minutes. I waited 20 minutes. I went back up there. Well, honey, I'm sorry we ain't got done. I said, well, if you don't care, I might just change my order then. And
what'd you end up getting?
I got a McChicken, I believe.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, you could have had them just cut it up nuggets.
Yeah, that'd work. But it just, and they was aggravating, and then, and the thing, let me say this: the reason we went to that Walmart, we passed a Michelin, we passed, I don't know how many tar shops.
Yeah.
But I remember I done some calling, and they was the only ones I believe could get that certain tar in that quick because we was in a tight spot.
They had them in stock. The other ones had to try to get them from somewhere. I believe it was.
It was act of Congress to try to find some. The way I remember it.
They took the tire off, and when that piece fell down in there, and they didn't know it, and they put the tire on, and then it was making a bad noise. They thought they busted a rotor or something.
Well, that's later. We'll let them off the hook. We waited an hour and a half at McDonald's, go back, they ain't even started.
Yeah, we killed plenty of time.
I remember I went back and I was like, man, they got them tires on quick. And then I was like, same tires.
They had
What's
one.
going on?
They had one off, I remember. And I mean, that guy was just, he'd go over there. I finally told Landon to lock his truck because he'd quit what he's done to take his hat off and check it for bugs. He'd go over there and open his door, and he'd just get him a gander. He'd just look around in there, and I said, what's he doing?
And I remember what he would do. He'd go over to the back of the truck, he'd look at the tar, then he'd go over, and this man, he had to have eaten 4 or 5 pack of crackers before he ever got done. That was the cracker eatingest fella I've ever seen in my life. He had crumbs all over his chest. I remember he had been going through some crackers. But anyway, it's like he'd walk back there, he'd eat a cracker, then he'd pull his hat off and do this for whatever reason. And then he'd walk up there, look in the truck, and then it's like he just kept walking in circles.
It's like he had a bug crawling on his head or something.
Well, then finally they get the tires on, and we're like, thank goodness, we got to get back. We got to take these family pictures before we leave.
We was in a hurry to get back.
And then we finally get over there, and we drive off, and it starts making this, like, rattling noise.
It's squeaking. It's
like,
a squeaking.
Yeah, like a rattling, squeaking noise. It's like...
And it's like when you start slowing down.
Yeah,
I didn't know what it was.
I was like, you got to be kidding. And the farther we drove, the madder I got, because I'm like, we've waited all day to get these tires on. That guy's probably dropped a cracker in here or something.
I remember I thought for a while we was driving, I thought, does nobody notice this noise but me?
Well, I told him if I didn't say nothing,
I'm not going to say nothing.
So anyway, I couldn't decide whether to go back or to go somewhere else and ask them what was wrong. So finally, I whip it back around there, And I remember there was a line of people waiting to get in. I just went around and parked on the curb, and I went up there and I asked that guy, I said, "Who's got a manager?" And he said, I said, "Never mind, you're of no help to me." And I walked right past him and went inside, and I asked that woman, I said, "Do you have a manager? Anybody I can talk to?" I said, "We have waited here all day long to get a set of tires on. This man over here, he's took all day to get one set. I don't see how he doesn't have any business in here. That whole line will take him the rest of the year to do."
We was fit to be tired by the time we left that place.
Well, anyways, they had a manager come out. He checked it, and for whatever reason, Walmart was not allowed to check the brakes. They can't touch nothing brakes. They can only do tires.
Yeah.
And that guy said, "I ain't supposed to do this."
I remember that.
He said, I'm gonna try to make this right for you." So he goes in there and said that he must have broke a piece of your dust shield off, and it fell in there. He said, "I'll get it out." So luckily he got it out. Now all was well. But anyway, we get back to the condo, and then I call her. I tell her the circumstance, and she's like, "Okay, that's fine." She said, "You can come back, take it on Tuesday, but it's going to be a much harder test than you would normally have to have took."
You got lucky.
And I was like, "No, that's fine, whatever, but there's no way I'm going to be able to make it back tomorrow." And no joke, I ended up coming back, taking the harder exam, and I got the highest grade in the class on that exam.
What about that?
So the Lord intervened on that. He knew the trouble, went through the trial with Callaway Walmart, and whatever you want to call that fella that was there. I don't know if you call him just a fork in the road or a bump in the road or a stumbling block, but we got him out of the way.
I remember, I won't never forget this, so I was cracking up because we come back and it got worse as it went. And I remember we turned out at the parts store, and I remember you asking him what he'd do, and he said, "I don't know, you're a driver, whatever you want to do." I remember you was getting pretty fired up, and my favorite part, I'll never forget, is when you said, "We go back over there. If any of them tries to smart off to us, absolutely let them have it." I won't never forget that.
I was fired up to say the least. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, that was because we was under stress because we was trying to get back the next day. I had a test to go take, and we were spending the whole day watching this dude put on a set of tires all day, and it just one thing led to another, and it was just it just got stacked
We
up.
just sit there and watch old Sooner.
Yeah. But anyway, we've had some tales. We've had some tales. Me and Bill almost got in a fight at a Trump rally one time. We've not told that story in a while. You know, we didn't think we'd have to deal with the people that was there being the ones that wouldn't like us.
We thought he would be there, didn't you?
Yeah, that might be a different story for a different time, though. But yeah, it's hard to believe though. It's time to go back to the beach already.
Seemed like just the other day we was going.
Which something we have to look forward to this time we never have is we're having meet and greet this time with some of our subscribers. You gonna come be a part of that, Bill?
Like, yeah, if you want me to. I don't care.
I reckon we're gonna do some singing and some.
We're gonna hire him to be bodyguard.
Bill,
Join his muscles there, Bill.
Bill the bouncer.
Oh Lord.
He's been working out a little. He's been lifting some weights here and there.
I asked him, I say, "Where's your ID at?" Need to inspect it
See your credentials
before you get through this line. The background check.
Your little black book. You thought that old Jacques Rousseau had.
Double cross reference it there alphabetically.
Making all professional, I guess.
Yeah. If we have any real trouble, we'll seek Tony on them.
Bye. Bill, let's give them a little bit of a history on for maybe the ones that are new to the channel that wasn't here whenever we had the videos going out. Let's give them a little bit of our history there. You know, we've to be honest, I don't really know of a time when I've not known you. I don't know if it's the same way for you. Is there ever a time in your life where you didn't know who I was?
No. No, that's pretty funny.
I don't know if I worded that funny or what, but we got some crowd reaction out of that.
You think about that. I mean, really, we've known each other. I mean, I probably remember a time barely but I mean, we've known each other since, I'd say before kindergarten.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I'd have to really sit down and dig deep, maybe even meditate if I tried to think of a time before we.
I mean, it'd be hard to remember. I just remember.
I've known Jens longer than Jens has known each other.
Have you?
Yeah.
Trying to show out.
I'm trying to show out. I guarantee he does.
I'm older than you.
So now, you was there, so you know better than us. I mean, we was there too, but we didn't really have the memory of
We
this.
weren't much conscious at that
yeah.
time.
You may remember as much as I do.
Born on the same floor, same hospital, about the same time.
When my mama was coming out, Donna was going in. Ain't that right?
I think so.
Yeah. So
She can tell it better than I can.
out of the two of us, you know, people would never guess that he's the older one.
We always used to ask when we was younger. We'd say, "Who do you think's older?"
Yeah.
So Bill is December 24th around 11 o'clock at night, I guess.
January 24th.
What'd I say?
December.
Oh, January. Sorry about that. January 24th.
That's it. I was like, he's trying to trick me. That's a trick question right there.
I think it was. I wasn't. So
You're getting
January
charged.
24th at 11 o'clock at night, around that time,
That's
I
when
guess.
it was.
Well, you always say you're 7 hours older than I am, and I was born at 6 o'clock in the morning.
No wonder I'm a night owl. I was born at night.
All of them go hand in hand. It might.
That might be.
And I was born the 25th of January, about 6 o'clock, somewhere in there. 6:26. If you want to be on the dot. If you ever want to wake up in the morning on January 25th and celebrate my birthday, be my guest. 6:26. You blow one of them little things that goes in your mouth, and it you know them little party things. Yeah, whatever that is. And but anyway, so same hospital, same. I mean, just the whole thing. It's kind of like it's been destiny.
Yeah. And then come to find out, when we got older, I didn't have a clue because we was always buddies. And then he got to homeschooling. I remember we didn't get to see each other as much because, you know, when you're kids, you can't get around nowhere unless your parents take you. I remember when I was in the 8th grade one time, he was going to spend the night with me or something. And I got to asking my family about it and come to find out we was far off related. And that just made my night.
What are we, like 5th cousins or?
Something like
Yeah.
that.
Down the
Something
line.
like that in there.
Yeah.
I remember you had this little span where you wouldn't tell people he's my friend. You just tell them
Yeah,
I was your cousin.
I was so happy about it. I just say, yeah, I found out Landon's my cousin.
But so from that time on, pretty much lived on pretty much the same road for most of our life. You know, you spent a lot of time at Brendan Kenna's house, and I was, you know, on the road right off of that road, and
You could say me and you just both Martha Washington boys.
yeah. So we got that, then ended up going to started out at old Clark Range Elementary.
That's OG right there.
You know, the old stomping grounds, which has been bulldozed and pushed on over now.
Yeah.
Which that's where you went to. That's
Yeah.
a lot of history here at this table.
Few years before.
We was almost classmates. He missed it by a few years. But anyway, so we started out there, then went up to I homeschooled from 2nd to 7th grade, but we still seen each other all the time. We're still buddies.
Yeah.
And then come back to school in 8th grade and reconnected there. But we was in separate classes though.
Yeah, I didn't
in
like
8th
that.
grade.
And I remember poor Landon, of course. I mean, when you ain't around a whole lot of kids, I guess, like in a school like that, it's a different atmosphere. And I remember he come up there, and I remember him coming to sit down, and we was all grouped together, and you can only sit up so high because them teachers got strict. They'd only let us go so high up on the bleachers. And I remember poor fella went up there by himself, and I motioned him to come down there, and I looked up at him, and he motioned me to come up there. And, well, I can't blame him though if you don't know nobody. I think I was the only fella he knowed.
Yeah, I think I know you. I know Cody Hall's the only ones I even remembered that I had known before coming back to school.
Okay,
You know?
yeah.
So pretty much I
remember
walked into a big old people I'd never met before. You know.
Yeah, I mean it'd be a lot different like that.
Then we go through high school together, do 4 years there at old Park Range High,
Crazy.
and it's hard to believe it's been 5 years since we graduated high school.
It's been 7 years.
7?
This May made
6.
7 years.
All right,
We graduated
sorry.
in 14.
I've got my numbers all out of whack tonight.
I believe you tired.
Oh,
So
hey,
it is.
yeah.
Sitting in
'Cause
on
when
him,
you said December, I thought he's a tricking me.
See, I worked at 10 today. You know, you got yours tomorrow, so maybe I'll be focused back up tomorrow. So 7 years since we graduated high school. What's that feel like?
I feel old.
You know, whenever it first hit me, 25s hit different than the rest of them. You know,
25, yeah. 25 hits different, but I tell you where it kind of where it hit me, and I think me and you've always agreed on this. I don't know why.
22.
No, 23.
23.
21 and 22.
It's like
Just you kind of fresh out of high school. That 23 hits. I don't know how to explain it. You just have to live it because it's just like, well, I ain't really out of high school no more. I'm kind of getting in my early 20s.
Yeah. It's like you ain't over the hill, but you're going up the slope, and it's like that roller coaster. You can see the top up there, but you're not went over, but you can see it coming from afar off,
25 hits a little different. You're kind of, I don't know how to explain 25.
Well, you have 5 years from 30. I mean, you're right there.
You're half of 50.
Yeah, well, I'd say more.
That's one I don't like.
Which I will say, I know you can probably back this up here. It's always better to have a birthday than not to have one, ain't it?
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you have birthdays, you're still around, so that's always
one option when you stop.
Be thankful to God to give you another year.
Yeah. You quit having birthdays, you're not here no more, are you?
My uncle always told me, well, he told me this year, he said, Billy Bob, once you hit 25, it's a lot quicker from 25 to 50 than it is from 1 to 25.
That's right. I mean,
they go by in a hurry.
What would you say the biggest difference is from the life of a 50-year-old to the life of a 25-year-old? I mean, just everyday stuff. Maybe stuff other than just, the obvious things. Like you've got a family and stuff like that, but, just...
Well, the whole body starts slowing down, that's one thing. Yeah. Aches and pains have set in a little bit more. Yeah, you don't recover as quick. I turned 50, everybody said 50, oh Lord, but 50 wasn't no problem. It was 53 is what's been killer for me, or 52. I just turned 53, but in December, so I guess it was 53. I fell and then I hurt got to where I thought I had a hernia, but I just strained a muscle, I guess, in my pelvis area and couldn't hardly wiggle. Then had that old virus, and it's been a rough.
You never did catch a break, did you?
So 53's been my 50, I guess.
Yeah, you just got there a little bit later on there.
Yeah. Out of the hills over logging and stuff, they get you tired, or you don't recuperate as quick. Seem like they're a little steeper. You dread it more.
That's something else, I bet.
I start dreading going to work a little harder than I used to.
They say you always, how is it, like you lose a bunch of sleep, or you've been up all night or something like that. You got to get more sleep. They say the older you get, it seems like you can't recuperate as quick. I've always heard that.
Raising a family, there ain't nothing wrong with getting established and everything, but you got to consider you start having kids when you're in your 30s. It's harder to keep up with them.
Yeah.
Say Connor's 11 now and I'm 53. It's hard. If I was 43, I'd have more energy to run around. Yeah, that's something you consider,
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with waiting and getting established, but the longer you wait, though, start raising kids when you get up in age, it's a little harder to have the energy to put in like you would when you was young.
Yeah, which I mean, we're just 25. And it's not a big difference, but I can tell now more so. If I hurt something, or if I do something that strains me and I get sore, it takes a little bit longer now to kind of get over that than it did whenever 18, 19, 20.
I can tell a big difference from 20 to 25. I can. Just like getting over something like that. I mean, I can just tell I'm not as good a shape as I was, and just certain things.
If you'd stayed active, like at your age, is probably in the prime of your life right now.
Yeah.
If you'd stayed active and stayed in shape.
Yeah.
When I played ball through school in 18, but I could tell a big difference at 19 and my mental capacity and
athletic ability.
Yeah, you're just stronger. If I'd have stayed active, played. A lot of times once you graduate and if you don't go to college and play or something, you just quit working out and running. But if I'd have stayed in shape, I could tell a big difference in decision making and just the strength, you know.
Yeah.
So Jens are about in the prime. If if you just stayed active, you know, when he starts working and if you ain't an active job, you know, if you sit a lot, you start getting out of shape pretty good. But
yeah, we try. That's what we're about to start trying to work on. Man, we'll try to get that dial back in, ain't we?
Yeah, we're gonna try to.
We kept playing ball and started playing independent ball and going around playing tournaments, but you always went out of shape. You couldn't breathe going up and down the court.
Yeah.
But the mental side of you got a little sharper, you know, above being 18. You know, like you take these ball players that go through high college and then hit the pros, they get their probably peak performance in them years.
Yeah. I mean, we're pretty much in the prime of life right now.
I was gonna say we're pretty well. I believe we're in, because I mean I thought about this. I mean I know you can tell the difference between 20 and 25, but like some people, they ain't fully even developed until like probably 25, I reckon.
Mm-hmm.
You take like Michael Jordan and Dominic Wilkins, them boys, when they hit their, they got out of college and went on into the pros 3 or 4 years, 5. They was just probably at their peak.
Just wearing it out.
They just. It changes.
Yeah.
I think I'm on probably to the point now. It's probably go down the other way.
You're in them golden years, ain't you?
I think I probably live the best my health will probably be. It's all in the Lord's hands. But.
Yeah, which I know there's people that and they stay in real good shape as they get older.
Yeah.
But guys, we're going to hop into our next segment here in a minute. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with you in just a minute.
Just a boy from East Tennessee, just got God, my family, and me. Work my fingers down to.
All right, guys. So now we're back from the break. So we talked a little bit about getting older and staying in shape and stuff, and I guess we'll go ahead and talk about this little process that I'm about to hop back into. It's kind of a different thing, and I hadn't really talked about it a whole lot, but back a few years ago, was working out all the time. Got in by far the best shape I'd ever been in. I could run the whole town of Monterey without stopping. About 3.5 miles, and do all that, but. After me and Lex got married and stuff, kind of slowed down the working out and stuff, and probably put on about 20 pounds. Nothing crazy. I still at 6'8", 245 pounds. It's not too bad, I don't think. But as it went on, trying to figure out some stuff to make videos on. I said, would it not be kind of interesting to have somebody go from in good shape back to pretty far out of shape, and then watch them go back to it again? Would that not be kind of something else? So I guess you kind of say I'm going in the wrong direction, but for the purpose of what I'm doing it for, I think it's going to be pretty interesting.
Wanting to demonstrate.
Yeah, got any thoughts on that? Am I just crazy? Is it a stupid idea? What's your opinion on it?
I just figured you just wanting to show everybody kind of your routine, I guess you'd call it, on how to get in shape from from that weight.
Yeah. Which, I mean, we've been talking about it here. You've started working out with me here lately, and you're going to do kind of the same thing, which you've stayed through high school about 165, right?
About 175.
175?
Yeah. And I stayed at that weight until about 22, and then I started gaining weight, and I'm 25 now, and I weigh about 195.
Yeah. So, like you probably would like to lose about 20 pounds back to high school weight, I would say.
Probably about 15 or something like that. Really, I wouldn't mind too.
Yeah. And so, I wouldn't mind this time. To 225, I feel like it was a little bit too light for me.
Yeah.
Like Mom and Lexi said, my face looked like it was sunk in and
stuff.
Yeah,
I wouldn't go back down to that.
So, but I don't know. It was just like for me, whenever I know Jens never had to deal with this because Jens has been bean poles your whole life. But like for me, whenever, growing up, always being this, overly big kid, you know what I mean?
Real tall.
Yeah, well, no, not like that. Wide, real wide, Bill. That's what I was getting at.
Oh, okay, I thought you meant tall.
Well, I was pretty tall, but pretty wide too. Once I finally got a taste of, what it was like to be, just real skinny like everybody else, it's like that was just, I don't know.
Something else.
It'd be kind of hard for you to really understand because you've never really been there, but, from going from, 90 pounds or 100 pounds over what you're supposed to be.
You felt accomplished.
It's like I finally felt like I got what I'd always been wanting. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain for somebody that never has been there, but it's like, something I'd always wanted as a kid, just to be like, all the other kids, just real skinny beanpole. I could just run around and not get tired so quick, or
yeah.
even be able to do a squat or something like that. It's just a good feeling. That's why I think I got so addicted to the process of trying to build my body up, which I'm gonna be honest, you can waste a lot of time doing that. I mean, there's obvious health benefits to it if you stay in shape, keep your heart healthy, stay active.
Yeah.
Keep a lot of your weight off, especially internal weight around your heart and stuff. But you can go overboard, when you're just all the time chasing that dream body you want, and this time around, that's something I'm a lot more conscious of than I am this time. I'm not going to dedicate my whole life to it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to incorporate it, but not take time away from other things, like stuff me and Lexi wants to do, like I always tell people, I worked out so much I made her get a job there. so we can still see each other. Because I'm not kidding. I'd get off work at 3 o'clock, and time that I should have been doing other stuff like getting the house ready or doing stuff around here. I would leave the work at 3 o'clock, get to the gym at around 3:30, and I wouldn't leave until 7 o'clock.
You'd say that late?
That's what time she'd get off. I would work out I do weights. I would maybe talk to some of my buddies there a little bit, not much, and I'd run the town of Monterey every day. I'd run about 3.5 miles. And I do weights every day. I mean, you got me in good shape, but you can't sustain that through it. I mean, you can't have a family and stuff like that and dedicate that much time to working out and stuff, But well, what's your idea on the whole thing? What's your opinion? What do you think about it? Going from just purposely trying to gain weight. 280 was my number, and you guys will find out what I got to if you just watch my video. Coming out soon. But
why? I guess the point you're trying to make, it's all right, but I ain't never really wanted to try to gain weight, but I have gained some weight.
It's been kind of different just trying to purposely put it on. Like for the past 2 weeks, I've been trying to get to that 280 mark, and I've not even been lifting weights, just I've not been trying to burn any calories. I've just been trying to put on, pack on, because I've been trying to get to that number, because I want to be like, if I can do it, you can do it. I'm gonna show you how,
Yeah.
If they say me get to this big number, and I'm gonna do it right in
Showing
front of their
people
eyes.
your way of getting fit.
Yeah.
Like demonstrating. Yeah, and how
maybe encouraging them too,
Yeah.
Inspiring somebody to do it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's been a lot of pizza, been a lot of fast food and
You've
stuff.
probably been enjoying it pretty good.
Oh, it's been a blast. It's real fun whenever I'm eating it. Then I feel like garbage after I've eaten it all, and I'm just sitting there in that carb coma, just contemplating life.
Seem like stuff like that. Now that we've got about 25, I've noticed seem like you don't feel as good as you used to.
Oh, you feel awful.
Like, I mean, there's something, I don't know, it seems like if I eat a lot of sugar, it does me that way, but it takes a lot, though, because I don't know.
Yep. I'd like drinking a lot of pop. I can tell it makes me less energy and stuff, but you just keep drinking them for some reason.
It tastes that good.
Yeah.
They've got it figured out, ain't they? They still like the taste. So, guys, that's enough of that. So now we're going to go into our last 2 segments. Or actually the last segment. We're going to do a Would You Rather right here. And I want to go ahead and remind you, if you have any questions for the podcast, you want to ask us, go to alittlesouthernhumor.com or alittlesouthernhumor@gmail.com, and you guys can or send us your questions. If you just want to ask any questions to answer on the podcast, send it to littlesouthernhumor@gmail.com, and we'll make sure to answer them. But I've got a little bit of a would you rather today, and I'm curious what y'all's answer will be on this. And hopefully you didn't read it a minute ago.
I didn't even say him.
I probably did.
Did you?
But
All right. Well,
it'll be interesting.
if you've read it here, let's see. All right, here we go. And guys, if you want to answer this, go in the comments and let us know what you'd do. Would you rather be in jail for a year or lose a year off of your life? So would you rather spend a year in jail or would you rather just die 1 year earlier? Thoughts?
I'd rather spend a year in jail.
Think so?
Yeah.
Say, the way I look at it is, I mean, you go to jail, it's missing a little bit of context because I'd like to know what kind of jail you're going to be in because, I mean, there's a pretty good chance you go in jail for a year and you may not come back out of there, you know what I mean? Especially if it's one of them like Old Brushy Mountain, good night. I mean, I'll tell you what, some of them stories in that place blowed my mind.
Yeah.
Some of the way that, I mean, forget just worrying about prisoners killing you. A guard might kill you too. I mean, you just never know what's going to happen in a place like that.
You lose your vision in there.
Yeah, it lock you in the hole for a while.
Yeah.
But what do you think, Dad? Lose a year of your life or spend a year in jail?
That's a hard one, ain't it?
It is. Making us think tonight. Way too late of a night to be thinking. 9:40 p.m. Too late for questions like this.
The atmosphere and everything in there, and the reason, you know, the tales you hear of people that's in there, I don't know that I wouldn't just give up a year of my life because I'd probably be miserable.
It's almost like you'd be losing a year of your life
It
anyway.
would be
You know what I mean?
miserable, though.
I used to think I had a guy that worked for or sold lumber for my brother out there, and I was talking to him, and I said, "Oh, them prisoners, they, you know, I was talking about how easy they had it. They got what they can lift weights. They got TV to watch all day. They got fed good, you know." And but he said it ain't no picnic. In other words, he said you ought to try your year out and see how you like it, you know. But something about losing your freedom, you know, not being able to get out,
Knowing you can't go nowhere, does
yeah,
it?
man. I'd say that's just probably what I would pick. I don't know. I guess if it comes down time to give that year up, you might say, well, I'd like to just go ahead and live in jail a while.
Yeah, might go there and chill with the inmates a minute.
You know, I don't.
I think I'd probably, I don't know, it's hard to know. If I was going to some kind of high security prison in Memphis, you know, I might just be like, you know what, let's just take a year of my life off there. But I know I might be going to some kind of hole in the wall county jail, you know, for a year, you know, let's roll the dice, see what happens. But I mean, if, just for the simple fact, I mean, you never know what's going to go on in there. I might just take a year of my life off there because I know, you know, what's waiting on the other side is going to be a lot better than what's over here anyway. So, I mean, might as well go on over there and get started because, you know, it's definitely.
Well, there's some incentive. You know, I've tried to live my life where I wouldn't end up there, so that's telling you something. What I think about being there a year.
Right.
I try to live a honest and truthful life and abide by the law and everything. So that tells you one. I obviously don't want to go there. Spend no time, you know, if I don't have to.
What are you thinking, Bill? What's your answer here?
I'm kind of saying it more the other way now that you mention it because, I mean, I can't imagine how miserable it'd be to be in there for a year.
Yeah.
I don't know.
At the end of the day, though,
I know how miserable I'd be, but
it's easy to sit here and say it, though. But I mean, I'll be the first one to tell you. I mean, I'm not looking forward to dying. I mean,
it ain't something.
I'm dreading it, to be honest. But yeah, my body is.
I've made preparation for it, but yet I ain't asking the Lord to take me today.
What's that old saying? It said, Jesus come quickly, just not today. Or something like that. I can't remember what it is, but they talking about people, you know, it's said, I'm ready to go, but I'd rather not be today.
Well, you got family and friends, and
right.
I mean, but I'm glad there's
Yeah.
I'm glad there's a preparation been made for me. But when that day comes, I'm ready for it. I think that's just nature. Our nature is to live. You know, it's He put life in us, and
That's all we know, I guess.
And the flesh ain't got no hope, so it's going back to the dust. So it don't want to die. Does it? I mean, no sense. So
no matter how ready you are to go, I guarantee when it comes down to it, this body here will fight with everything it's got for another breath. You know what I mean? I mean, it's natural. It's inside of you to stay alive. You know what I mean? I mean, you go underwater and you can't get a breath, your arms flare and you get to the top of the water. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just the way it is. Got something that's hot, you let go of it if you ain't sense about you. I mean, I guarantee you when it comes down, you know, but it's going to fight for every breath it gets. But the Almighty, He has a plan, and it's a good plan because He made it, and it's a foolproof plan too. I mean, it ain't got no holes in it. But so, Bill, after all that, have you come to a conclusion on this?
Yeah, I think I'm with Jones on the other side now. The more I think about it, kind of makes you think everything it said. I kind of see it that way.
Just going to go on over to the old angel band, start leading singing in the choir.
Yeah.
Well, Bill will be singing Heavenly Sunlight, but he'll be standing at that then. He won't be singing about it. He'll be standing in the Heavenly Sunlight.
Yeah.
You know, that's not a S-U-N-L-Y either, you know it? Heavenly Sunlight, it's going to be a S-O-S-O-N.
Yeah.
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 Let's talk about that for a second as we end this. I mean, you talk about a place that's not going to have it ain't going to have sun. There's not going to be no sun in heaven.
I didn't think about that.
Well, the Bible said that Jesus Himself will be the light of that place.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's talk about a bright feller. I mean, you talking about someone that's going to be putting off some light to light a whole place like that.
that's the heavenly sunlight. Ain't it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know exactly how big heaven's going to be, but I expect it to be a pretty good sized place. I mean, you think about all the souls that's been saved and went on, or the ones that's
something
going to go on.
About, ain't it?
I mean, there's going to be millions of people there, and just the light of Him is going to light that whole place.
It's amazing, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
John talked about Him being the light that lighteth every man.
Yeah.
Saul saw a great light, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. About put his eyes out there. I laugh whenever I think about the story of Saul. Whenever he
who was it that he hid in the cleft of the rock? Moses.
Yeah.
He said, "No man can look up on me and live." So he said, "But I'll hide you in the cleft of the rock, and when I pass by, you can see my hinder parts."
Yeah, he said. Yeah, Moses. he kept begging to say to the Lord. He said, "You can't handle it." You know, this is the hillbilly way of saying. He said, "You can't handle it, but go over in that rock and get in there and hide. I'm going to walk on by whenever I pass by. You peek out of that rock and see my back as I pass by, because you can't handle my face. No one's seen it." You know, so he went by, and whenever he came down from that mountain, they couldn't even look at him. His face was glowing so much. They had to put a veil over his face. He was shining so much, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And the thing about it was, when he came down, they was doing what they shouldn't be doing, wasn't they?
Yeah.
Moses, that's just like we are. Moses went up the top of that mountain, got the 10 Commandments. From the time he went up there, time he come back down, the people he went up there to get them things for, the 10 Commandments, they was already worshiping false gods before he even got back down to the bottom of it. Moses, he had to have some patience, and he finally run out on him when he smoked that rock and he was supposed to speak to it. But
well, he broke the table of stone, didn't he?
Had to go back there and get them again.
Write him. Lord made him write him, didn't he, the second time?
About them 10 Commandments, you know, they get kind of shot down a lot because people say we ain't under the law anymore. But when you talk about them 10 Commandments, God, Jehovah, He took His finger and wrote them things, didn't He? You talking about something that awarded a lot of respect. You know, you think anything about the Bible. The Bible was written down by inspired men of God, but the 10 Commandments was written by God's finger.
Yeah.
I mean,
And just think about a nation that would live by them wholeheartedly. You know, he gave them to us for a reason. If you lived in a place where they'd live just by the 10 Commandments alone, I mean, you know, there's a lot in the Bible to live by, but just the basic 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not steal, kill, commit adultery. Remember the Sabbath day, honor thy father and mother, and have no other gods before me.
I don't care how pretty Billy's truck is. I mean, you can't wish it was yours. But that's a whole other rabbit trail to go on. But boys, I believe we've put together.
We have a love of God in us. So Billy will take us a ride for it.
He's gonna take me for a ride. I believe here in a couple of weeks, ain't you, Bill?
Yeah, I'll let you drive it.
Boy, I hope you will. I want to get down there.
And Donnie, we ain't never got to go out on that day.
You're not gonna take off on a date or nothing.
We was gonna drive the car, and now we just have to drive the truck.
That work. You never did. You never did get to go on a date on my Camaro. Yeah, I've tried.
But boys, I believe we've got close to an hour here, so I think it is. But it's getting kind of
pretty late too for 4 o'clock.
A little late tonight. Bill will get up in the morning pretty early. So do I. So does Lexi. So does Dad. So. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, I can't stress it enough. Hit the like button. Just let us know you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you ain't yet. Post notifications. That way, whenever we post one of these, you know as soon as it goes up. And go comment. Let us know what you thought about it. Stuff you'd like to hear us talk about, or all that good stuff.
I've got one more thing to say for you.
Dad got one more thing.
That's would you rather.
Okay.
Would you rather go 30 more minutes, or would you rather go on to bed? So you can get up in the morning. I think it's about bedtime, don't you?
I'd rather go to the bed because I know what happens when you don't.
That was a lot easier than the jail or the 1 year of life took off.
I've been there.
Dale was over there with at church one night. We'd been talking at her church dismissed for a long time. Dale said, "What time does this place close?" Get ready to go home. Yeah. I'm gonna say the same thing tonight. What time does this place close?
You talking about your brother-in-law, Dale?
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh boy. Guys, hope you've enjoyed it. We've enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more videos on the fitness journey of me and Bill. And stay tuned for more podcasts later on. This has been the Southern Life Podcast. And we'll see you next time. Have a good night.